December has been an amazing month so far. I took all of my own advice, slowed down and embraced the winter season. To me, the winter season encourages coziness, winding down, spending more time at home, and being happy to do just that. I have various activities that I take my children to during the week, but this month, unless I or my children have felt excited and eager to get out to those places, I haven't pressured myself to attend. Each day we have been getting up to a cosy fire, a slow morning of breakfast, Advent chocolates of course, kitten cuddles, games and fun. I haven't felt any guilt for this. Well, there may have been small moments of guilt, but then when I look at my children laughing, playing, chasing each other, gazing at the Christmas tree, warm by the fire and in our joyous home, the guilt quickly erases. Some seasons encourage outdoor activity more, but for us, winter oozes home, comfort, hibernation and indoorsy activities. Don't get me wrong, we are never constantly at home. We go to the shops, to cafes, stay and plays, activities outdoors, into the garden and so on. However, during this month and season, I am definitely providing myself grace to wind into the house more than usual. December and this time of the year can be a very difficult time of the year for some. It is a time where there is an increased pressure to spend and buy more. Christmas, sadly, has become so commercialised and taken over by capitalist monsters that some of us can feel the burden of buying lots of expensive decorations, gifts, and attending expensive winter or Christmassy events. Though lots of us don't succumb to this false representation of Christmas and the winter period, many of us do. We became a solely one-income family 2.5 years ago now, when I decided to leave my job as a secondary history teacher. It was the best decision I could have made for my family and I, but of course it wasn't an easy decision and came with lots of sacrifice. I want to use the word sacrifice lightly, as I feel like it has such a negative undertone to it because though yes, there were technically sacrifices made to our lifestyle, spending and so on, it never felt like a sacrifice. In fact, I've always felt like I've gained so much more than I lost. Some of the things I enjoyed and we had to cut back on were travel, such as holidays abroad, spending on ourselves, such as clothes, luxury items for us like candles, expensive skincare, bath salts, eating out, takeaways, going out and spending in general. For the first year, after I stopped working, we were fortunate to still have my savings to rely on. However, of course, that quickly diminished, and for the last year and a half, I have relied solely on my husband. This time of the year, where spending increases and capitalism is at its height, has definitely increased pressure and made me miss having my own income. And miss money, I guess. But quite quickly I remember that we don't really remember exact gifts received, money spent, not necessarily. What we do remember is the joy and time spent, how we felt, what we could smell, memories, traditions, and those types of things. I want to encourage myself as a homemaker, wife and mother to enable that joy, happiness and cheer in my home. I genuinely believe that this can be created humbly and with limited buying and spending. For example, in regards to decorations of my home, I tried to be very conscious and intentional about my spending. At first, I was going to try and bring our last year's Christmas tree that we planted outside, inside to use as our tree again. However, since the tree was planted, it had flourished in the ground, so my husband and I chose not to disturb that, just in case. I made an intentional choice to buy a tree, just a very small, humbly priced tree, but since I knew we would use it every year, I knew that I would get our money out of that. Noah and I went out charity shopping to buy some 10 pence per bauble for the tree, and we used baubles that we had already as well from previous years. Apart from that, our decorations have been beautifully created using Mother Earth. There was a serious storm recently in England, and the next day it left so many trees and bushes dishevelled and even uprooted. We took a walk and collected some of the tree branches, holly, greenery that would have otherwise been left and gone to waste, and used them to create beautiful winter festive decorations in our home. We're also fortunate that after Christmas these natural decorations can be then used to aid our fires for the log burner. A truly no waste, no spending way of life, and not succumbing to capitalist monsters' approach. And honestly, I use nature to decorate every year for all the seasons, and I don't think anything can beat it. Nature is God's art, and it truly never disappoints. It took me little to no effort, but the results were stunning. We have beautiful winter festive decorations, making us feel so cozy and happy and connected to the outside. The children loved helping with the decorations, and honestly we enjoyed keeping our hands busy, making mini rosemary wreaths, and planned to make the festive orange garland soon too as well. So I guess the best advice I can give in regards to managing on one income is to reevaluate your priorities, your way of life, and what is actually important. You may quickly realise that spending so much on that item wasn't necessary when you could buy the same thing, create the same joy, second-hand or with something else. Time is the most precious gift in the winter. Slowing down and giving if you have your children time. Your presence and your love. Engage in activities like making snowflakes, roasting chestnuts, jigsaws, open-ended fun with magnetiles, trains, and so on. Reading books together, watching movies and talking about it. My eldest son is at a beautiful age where we're having such meaningful conversations together, and it warms my heart so much. I can spend, so much time just sitting there and having a conversation about all sorts of things with him. My youngest son is at the exciting stage of discovering walking, loving physical play, and figuring out various concepts too. I plan to embrace the rest of the season with a wholesome heart, a grateful heart, spending time with my little and wider family at Christmas, my niece, my parents, my grandparents, my siblings, connecting with the nature around us, making the most of the daylight hours, but equally enjoying the coziness of our beautiful home and family of 4, plus our 2 beautiful cats, who always encourage us to slow down with their non-stop sleeping and relaxing throughout the day. They definitely appreciate the log burner the most in our home. I hope that you are also having a lovely winter, a lovely December, and a lovely festive period. I also pray that you don't feel negative pressure to spend money, but instead remember that the true spirit of this season lies with the cheer, the joy, the togetherness. Next year, something I want to try and do more is to make some homemade gifts, such as candles and potpourri. Anyway, I will leave my reflections on this year and hopes for the next for another video. Until next time, sending love, peace and joy.